All right, Utopian Baseball Universe, good evening. It's Tuesday, October 12th, and we are once again here with the folks from 401 Sports, our good friend David Rubin and John Hess joining us tonight to talk about 401 Sports and everything that they can offer the sports fan, the fantasy fan. A lot of great stuff here, so we're gonna hand it over to David and John, and hopefully have a good show. And at the end of tonight's show, we're gonna have an announcement as to when you can see us again going forward. Welcome, boys.
All right, glad to be back.
Thank you, Joe. Nice to meet you guys, everybody out there, and good to be here.
If you couldn't tell, guys out there in TV land from John's hat, that number 9 is a certain Mr. Ted Williams. Yeah,
Teddy Baseball.
Yeah, Teddy Ball Game, the best of all time, in my opinion.
I actually have a new puppy coming to our house, and his name is Teddy Ball Game. So that's how committed to the Red Sox we are here.
Nice. I love that hat. I gotta look for that one. So, all right, David and John, tell us what's going on in 401 Sports.
So last week we had a pretty crazy week. I think I had let everyone know that we were bringing Texas on board as we expand our reach, across America. And so we had athletes who were basically directed towards the Texas market. Started with the Houston Rocket on Monday, ended with a guy by the name of Luka Doncic on Friday. And we had an amazing week, including a guy by the name of Dak Prescott, a certain quarterback for the Cowboys, who came out at a ridiculously cheap price. He was introduced at $5, which was about 25% of where he would have been introduced if we weren't bringing in Texas. If Texas had been there all along, we'd just bring him to market. He would have started at least $20. Within it was 5 hours, John, he was selling at $12, and within a day, he had basically like quadrupled where his entry point was. So like any stock that comes on the market, right? Imagine a stock comes on and they're a biotech stock and they come on at $5 a share, and the end of close that day, they're at $23 a share because everyone knows they have this great medical product. Well, when you close at 23, you say to yourself, well, that's probably where it should have started at. Well, Dak ended up closing about where he should have started at. So it just showed the incredible demand for the stock, the incredible price point that we introduced him at, and that our users really get it. They understand a great deal, and they want Dak in their portfolio for many years to come. So it's really exciting to watch it. We sit back. The IPO happens at 9 o'clock Pacific time, 12 Eastern, 11 Central. And so we sit back and we wait and we time it, like how long is it going to take? And Dak sells out in less than a minute. Pretty exciting. Then this Monday, somebody near and dear to the hearts of most of the Wisconians in this audience, including a certain guy to my left. Well, it's my left. I don't know if it's my right out there. Here it's to my left. We brought in Mr. Corbin Burns, and he was in at a very inexpensive price in the low $3 range. And how much is he up now, John?
Corbin is at 418 right now. So he's up just today. He's up 8.5%, but that's just today.
Wow. Right. And the big jump was after he sold out quickly on Monday. By Monday afternoon, people were trading him in the marketplace because the IPO had closed, and so shares were very in demand, and there was a lot of shares transacting all day long after the IPO had sold out on Monday and again this morning. So probably by Friday, I would be shocked if he was anything under $6. Just in trying to see how things have been moving and that quick.
This whole week, Dave, just to throw in as well, it's a postseason celebration, right? Postseason is the best season. Doesn't matter what sport it is, but baseball postseason is the best season. When the bunting is out and the temperatures are down a little bit, we're all a little extra excited about it. Yeah. I've had baseball on, like I'm sure we all have, all day since 11 o'clock this morning on the West Coast. Still going. Yeah. So this has been a postseason week all week. So, yesterday was Corbin Burns. Today was Tyler O'Neill, who evaporated in, I think, 8 seconds. Yeah. And then we've got some more for the rest of the week, and we're going to continue to have postseason gems for the coming week. So it's really, really exciting. Just to watch the activity while the games were going on today. The trading floor was moving up and down. Michael Kopech went out, did not have a great outing today, and I could tell people were watching because his stock price went down a little bit. Right. That was nothing we did. We don't do that. We set a value and put it out there, but the players, the members, they're knowledgeable, they're smart, they're watching the games, they know what's going on. I mean, Kopech, he didn't fall off the table, but he dropped a little bit because he went out and, I don't want to say he got shelled, but he didn't have a good outing.
Right. Somebody who had his shares was like, I'm not so sold on Kopech anymore.
Right. So it's fun to watch it in real time too. I mean, it adds that little bit of twist to it. It makes it just that much more exciting. Right. I was a little torn because Randy Arozarena is on the stock market, and there are a couple of Rays on the stock market. And being a Sox fan, of course, I want people's shares to, and I want people's stock to go up, but I don't want to see the Rays score that well. But Arozarena stock went up. I think it'll continue to go up. So anybody who, even though he's out of the playoffs now, I think he's probably a great buy because he's only going up from this point onward. He had an amazing postseason.
His teammate Wander Franco came on at I think it was $5, and he's trading at $16.25 now. Because he's, when you buy a stock, right, you want something that you either people go in for a very short-term gain, they get in, get out, or you build something in your portfolio that's a long-term gain. Wander Franco is like a Mike Trout type. If you bought Mike Trout in 2011 and you paid $1 or $3 or $5 for him, you would feel really, really good right now, but Mike Trout could be a foundational piece of your portfolio. Because same thing is with Wander Franco. If he had been up in April, you would be talking about him as the rookie of the year, not a Randy Arozarena, his teammate. Yeah. And I did want to say to John's point, tomorrow Kopech's teammate, Tim Anderson, goes on the market. So, of course, we put the picks together a couple days before. There's a lot that goes into it. So we put it together a couple days before they go to market. So everything was completed by the weekend. So unfortunately, the White Sox are out of it, but Tim Anderson is a superstar TA7. He's a great ball player. So he goes live tomorrow. And the last of our playoff IPOs comes out on Friday. That's Mr. Max Fried, who already won a game for the Braves. So if and when today's game goes in the Braves' favor, then he wouldn't be pitching this week again. But if hopefully Milwaukee comes through and wins this game, we might see Fried take the mound just about the time his stock goes live, which would be pretty cool. And then we also, for football fans, why don't you tell our friends what's happening on Thursday, Mr. John?
Oh, Thursday. I'm really excited about this one. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember Eric Uriel and the Chargers, the San Diego Chargers from back in the day, Dan Fouts, Kellen Winslow, Charlie Joyner, right? Well, as a guy who lives in Oregon now, it's really cool to see another Oregon Duck slinging a ball for the Chargers, even though they've moved north a little bit. I'm a huge Justin Herbert fan. Huge. One of my good friends here from Portland used to babysit Justin Herbert in Eugene, Oregon. They grew up near one another back in the day. So I'm a Herbert fan. So Justin Herbert and Mike Williams go on sale Thursday morning. So we're calling it, pun intended, put a couple new Chargers in your portfolio. But I think it would be really exciting. I have Herbert in fantasy football, and he gave me the win this weekend, and connected with Mike Williams as well. So putting that in there, I know this is a baseball, community, but I know everybody watches the Pigskin on Sunday. So I think that'll be a really, really good IPO and a fun opportunity too. Also, Justin Herbert is a really nice kid, really good kid.
Reminds me a lot of Elway. He's got that same poise in the pocket, that
Yep.
long blonde hair, the big build. Yeah. Yeah.
So, do you think it should I grab the screen and share
Yeah.
some of the portfolio? All right, the
Yeah.
portfolio I'm going to show you is just something we use. It's connected to live, but it's not exactly the same. So if you see a huge dollar amount, don't think that it's it's just something we play with to see how things work. But this is similar to live, so I don't want people thinking that I've got that much money in the account.
No, and just an FYI, Geeker had asked for this. Hey, Geeker, hopefully you're joining us today. He had asked if there was a way to explain what the player's page looks like. So I think it's important, right? I think it's important that not everybody goes on to Robinhood. Not everybody trades stocks. We're all sports fans, though. So there's two ways we could do it. We could do a tutorial, and that gets boring, or we could have somebody exciting like John who can actually show what these things mean, and we could ask questions. And Joe, by all means, please ask questions representing Geeker and our audience.
Absolutely. So, one of the things I wanted to ask is in the last 2 weeks since David and David Wu were on the show, we've brought in about 40 new members to the Utopian Baseball universe. So if you wouldn't mind, David or John, just kind of give an explanation again as to just how all this works within 401 Sports to get viewers excited about participating.
Absolutely.
Sure. I mean, in very short order, it's the stock market, but for sports, right? It's an opportunity to take your passion and your knowledge and put your money where your passion is to a certain extent. It's a fantasy game. We play with real cash. And what you get to do is you get to buy virtual shares of an athlete. And as that athlete performs, there's a set of statistics for each sport that increases the value for those athletes as they perform. And right now we have football, baseball, and basketball. We're looking to add hockey will be coming soon. We're also looking to add soccer, NASCAR, golf, and tennis.
And WNBA.
And WNBA, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're in talks with the WNBA right now. So I think it's a great opportunity. So when you first get here, you can either go to, you go to the trading floor and you'll see where some of the featured IPOs are listed. And if you want more detail, you can go right to the IPO center. And you'll see, as Rube mentioned earlier, Tim Anderson, he's on sale tomorrow for $3 at 20,000 shares. And I want to learn a little bit more about him. You can go click into that. And then you can see he was an all-star this year. He was a silver slugger last year, and he won the AL batting title. And then we've got stats here that will give you a good picture of the last 5 years of the trajectory of where this athlete is. And then Rube and his team do a great job of composing some detail, a bit of a narrative blurb about their background, their past, where they've come from, what their story is, and where he sees them going. And then there's an easy countdown here to show you this is going to happen tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 15 hours. So that you can do that. All of the IPOs for that week are listed here, as we talked about. Tim Anderson, Justin and Mike, and then Max Fried and Shane Baz on Friday.
Right.
When there are longer lists, you can sort them a bunch of different ways.
Right. And before we leave today, I'm going to give everybody a sneak peek at the next 2 weeks of IPOs because there's some pretty amazing stuff happening. But John, if you're able to share your screen, we can show everybody a little bit about what that page looks like and talk them through it.
My apologies. I thought you could see it.
No.
Because it says
you don't have a way to share the screen, do you?
Let me check to see if there's anything I can do on my end.
Because if not, John would have to turn it around and just show everybody.
Yeah, so I think there's an option where if you have a screen, John, it'll alert me that I can show it. So.
Okay, because I clicked on share screen.
And it didn't share. Yeah.
Yeah, normally I would get, and we've only done it, I think, a couple times on the show, but I would get some sort of alert that says, like, guest is trying to share screen.
Let me try again.
Okay.
And if for some reason we can't get it live, certainly if you want to send me screenshots, I'll post them tonight.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
I can even create like a little tutorial as to what we'd be looking at as well.
Okay, and I'm happy to even film something else at another time and go through it. It's a little hard for me to do it one-on-one with people.
Sure.
From time, but Akiko brought this up, and it was a really a great point. If you don't understand how to look at a page, in fact, you know what I might be able to do? Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone while we're talking, because I do have it here.
Yeah, my apologies. It's not Joey. If it's not giving you a note on it, then because I'm hitting sharing screen and it says I'm sharing it, but clearly not everyone can see it.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just wasn't. Usually I get like a little like like when you get a Facebook alert, it says like one, and I didn't see that, so I had to go into the menu.
I think, Joey, we're seeing your screen.
Oh, here, I'm going to move.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
Can you see? Awesome. Can you see that now?
We can.
All right, then let's.
You able to see that, Joe?
Yep.
Great. Okay.
All right, cool. All right. So as I was talking about, sorry, I was talking through this and I didn't realize folks could see it. So what I would recommend when people first get to the site, after they sign in, go to the trading floor, because that's really where the bulk of the action is. And what you'll see when you get to the trading floor is you'll see a box with featured IPOs, and this features almost all of them for next week. And as we mentioned earlier, Tyler sold out. Good Canadian boy. Somebody came in and dropped a bunch of loonies and toonies on that one, and bought them out. But if you want to get into more detail in the IPO Center, you can click in, and everyone's listed there. So as Rube mentioned earlier, Tim Anderson, quite a slugger. I'm interested in him. Okay, let's see what he's got for tomorrow. All right. Well, we've got a great detail page here where we show he was an all-star this past year, silver slugger, batting title, and a breakdown of what his stats have been for the last few years. And then a detailed description of Tim's career, where he's been, some highlights, what he's all about. And then down here, this is the book value. And what the book value is the value of his stock that we will guarantee against, and that's reflected as the stats that he's already earned. So he has already achieved enough statistical successes and awards through his career that gets his value at $2. Now he will of course trade higher than that once he goes out, but we're selling it for only $3. So in a short matter of time, by mid next season probably, his book value will already be more than that. But again, once he's out there, he will trade higher than that.
And if you go to the stock rule, if you go to the stock rules on the page, you'll be able to see exactly what does, and there's a link to it right there. If you click that, it will tell you how a player's value is calculated. So, it'll explain to you if this player hits 35 home runs, his value goes up by 25 cents. If he is a Gold Glove Award winner, his value goes up 25 cents. If he wins a Cy Young, his value goes up $2. So all those values are there. So once you buy this player, how he or she is going to accumulate funds. As John said, the money is guaranteed. So if you buy Tim now and he goes up to, on the marketplace, he goes up to $11, and you see his book value is $2. That means if you wanted to just cash out without going to the marketplace, you would get $2 per share, right? If you go to sell it on the marketplace, it's whatever the market will bear. So now if, John Doe wants 100 shares and the value is $11 on the resale market, John Doe needs to pay $11 per share to get Tim Anderson. He's buying against what he thinks Tim Anderson's long-term value is going to be. So like David used Mike Trout as an example. If you had bought Mike Trout for $1 in 2011, if we were around and you bought him for $1, and his value is now $49. That means you could literally, if you decide, hey, I just want the $49 a share. I know he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I know that'll give me another $75 or $50 when he retires. But I want now to buy a new car, and I have 1,000 shares of Mike Trout. I click sell, and I get that $49.77, whatever that number is, guaranteed right now. So, yeah, pretty great.
So let's look at the floor, for the trading floor, for a minute. So when you get here, you can see what the symbols are. We have some fun with the symbols, right? Some of them are pretty straightforward, and some of them we have some fun with. Right. It'll show you the name, the sport, the price that it's trading right now, how that has been adjusted throughout the day. Damian Harris went down a little bit today. If you want to see what it looked like over a week, you can see he's been up over the week. Month, he's been up even more. And we've only been up and running for about 2 months. The 3 months to 1 month isn't going to change all that much. So let's say
let's pull up Burns.
Let's pull up Burns, right? So click on him and we say, all right, here's his day range. We know where he's been today. There have been 109 shares bought and sold of him today, and his market cap. In this account, I have 48 shares. And the equity is at 200. Let's say we want to trade some. We go into Corbin Burns, and you can see very clearly right there. This was today for Corbin Burns. Let's click on a week. Let's see what he looked like over the week. Again, he just went on sale yesterday, so let's really only look at it for the day. You can see where the previous close was. He's currently trading at $4.18 up here. Yesterday, he closed at $3.85. So you can see that he's up. On average, this account paid $4.15 for each one. At just under $200.
This is someone's actual account that you can't see their name, but it just shows these are cumulative numbers. But this is someone who bought 48 shares, right? Their equity is $200.64.
So let's say there are no bids out there. Nobody's trying to buy them right now, but people are trying to sell them at $4.20, and they put 5 shares out there. So let's do that again, because this is just an account.
Right.
So I'm going to say I'm going to buy 5 of those shares at $4.20. 7 days. It says, okay, you have this much money to buy that. I have the buying power. I'm going to place the order. And then you can watch in real time. It goes up. I just went up. And then let's go back to the trading floor and see if Corbin's gone up some more. And you can see here, now he's up 9%, and there's been 104 of those shares traded today.
Now let's let's go back to Corbin for a minute, because I want to point a couple things out, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Thank you. So if you look at the green line that's moving up where it says 1 day, 8 a.m., if you touch on it all the way on the left point, John, with the very start of that graph, and go all the way down, see it started at 385 today, and now you bring it all the way to the right where the most recent dot is. So that's the range. And if you look down below, it shows you at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12 noon, 2. It shows you where the time where the trading is. So obviously, as game time was coming closer for the Braves Brewers, some people were saying, "Hey, I'm getting ready to watch this game. I think Corbin Burns, though he's not pitching today, I think he's so important for the Brewers. I was really excited about his Game 1 win. I'm going to invest in him." So as it got closer to game time, you saw that the trading went up cumulatively, right? So that usually, like if you watch on Football Sunday, if one of our quarterbacks that we IPO'd is having a great game, by halftime you'll notice that there's a lot of trading going on in his shares because people want to buy in. They'll say, okay, Dak's at $12 now. I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to be, in my mind, $85 in a couple of years. I want to get in on him because I love what he's doing right now. So that it's commensurate with what that player is doing on the field with where the market's going. It's amazing how it correlates. Not all the time, obviously, but most of the time.
Yeah. And there wasn't huge increases, but you can see where Dak was pretty, last weekend he shot up, right? Then he was pretty flat all weekend, and then he shot up again over the weekend. And again, when you go to the trading floor, say you wanted to look at all the football players or all the, we don't have it sorted by position, but you can say, I just want to see baseball players.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just all baseball players here. And say, okay, Jordan Alvarez.
Another guy who sold out in seconds.
And this was just today. And you can see he had a couple of spikes.
Yeah. When Houston wins, the players do too.
Yep. And so do 401 players.
Absolutely.
All right, Joey, any questions on any of this or any other questions from the group that you had heard from that we can help kind of either demystify or get folks that much more excited about the opportunities here? Because one of the things, again, this will change as things happen, as the game goes on. But if you let's look at a 1 month price change. You look at that change column and the amount of stocks that have gone up. Shohei went way up and then came down. Trey has gone down a little bit. And again, there are no guarantees, right? It's never going to be an absolute sure thing. But in baseball, there are only 3 stocks that are down. Sorry, no, this is everything. There are only 3 stocks that are down. Let's look at 25 more. There's a couple more. Kellen Mond, Jeff McNeil, and then there's some flat stocks. But it's usually
McNeil's down, Joey.
Yeah, it's usually about 90% of the stocks that we've got out there. Between 85 and 90% of the stocks are up, and as you can see, up in huge ways. Like IKF there is like up 162%.
Yeah.
So it's not an absolute gimme. Nothing in life is a guarantee, but this is very low risk. And when you compare it to daily fantasy sports, it is much more of experienced, intelligent, informed players that are playing this, because it's not a gambler's game. It's a game of skill, and it's about putting that passion to work and truly understanding the potential to these athletes and what they're going to do. And if one of them goes out and has a bad game today, like Michael Kopech, say you had $100 in Michael Kopech, that $100 isn't gone. The value might have dipped today, but it's not gone. It's still in the market,
right.
And players make comebacks all the time. So it's not a zero-sum game. It's not hey, I put $100 on the Sox and they lost, so I'm out. It's no, I made an investment in some White Sox players, and I'm going to hang on to it. And you can play it short term, because the stats that we've established, you have game stats, you have career stats, season stats and career stats. So there's a short term, mid-term, long-term play to this game as well. And you can play it any way you want. Every day, every week, every month, or once a season.
We've had some players who bought an IPO and they sold them, made some money on the marketplace, and then the shares kind of leveled off and even went down just a little bit, and the person jumped in and bought a whole bunch more shares than they originally had, and then they've gone up, as the season's gone on, and now they're worth considerably more than what they first bought them at. So it's exciting, right? Like any stock, you want to think that your value is going to go up. The difference for us is I don't know what's happening at Merck, right? I can't tell what's happening inside of Merck's boardroom, right? I don't know what strategies Amazon's going to come out with in 3 months from now. And are they going to do something that's going to just make the stock go through the roof even more? Or is it going to be something that's going to crash and burn them, right? With this, the great thing is it's players. It's what are they going to do? What am I going to bet on? Who do I think is going to do great? And as John said, you have 3 strategies. Short term is who do I think is going to have a great season? How am I going to benefit from that? Midterm is who do I think is going to have a bunch of great years, put together some years. And long term is who do I think is a Hall of Fame player? Who do I want to invest in my portfolio long term? Because as a Hall of Famer, you're guaranteed either $50 or $75, depending on the sport, added to the value of your stock when they retire. So if I'm 25 years of age and I have an opportunity to buy the next Mike Trout and sit on that for 20 years till that new Mike Trout is going to be a Hall of Famer, wow, I know that if this career, goes the way I think it's going to, like a Wander Franco type, that share of stock is going to go through the roof at some point over time. And when he retires and becomes a Hall of Famer, that share is going to be worth a substantial amount of money. And I could wait on it, or I could say, hey, after 10 years, he's doing incredibly well. Let's see what the market will bear right now. What am I going to do? The other side of it is, could he be, just a $1 player or a 50-cent player or 20? Yeah, but once they hit a certain value of book value, that number is always guaranteed. So as they accumulate stats, it's never going to go below that. Now, somebody could decide in the marketplace they want to get out and they want to sell for X amount of dollars. That's great, but they never have to sell below what that book value is, because that book value is guaranteed by our company. That's really important. So as John was alluding to, you bet all your money on a game, your money's gone. None of it. You bet on Michael Kopech and you think he's going to rebound and have a great season next year, and his shares of stock, he has a great year. He wins 20 and he's got a 2.5 ERA and his value goes up by $5. That's guaranteed money in your pocket for every share you own. So It's pretty exciting. Yeah.
So one question that did come up earlier today, David, I just wanted to confirm the link that we have pinned in the Utopian Baseball Universe group. Is that still the preferred way for our members?
Yes.
To jump in? Okay. So
yes.
If you're a member of the Utopian Baseball Universe, and obviously you are, if you're watching this right now, there's a pinned post from 2 weeks ago from 401 Sports. This is how you will start participating or continue to participate. And we're going to keep that pinned for the rest of time. It's never going to leave. So we'll leave that up there. We also have the show from 2 weeks ago pinned as an introduction to 401 Sports. So that's how you can stay on top of things.
I want to give a sneak peek, Joe, to our great listeners, to let them know what's coming next week and some really exciting things that are coming up in 2 weeks. We always want to try to present an exciting product and release, great players and players that are fun and players we think that people can get value in, right? And so, you can put up every LeBron James forever and a day, and there's not much exciting about that, right? There's not much, LeBron James is here and he's going to be here, but you want to get to that next LeBron James, right? So you generally speaking, you want a combination of both, right? You want some great existing players and you want some future stars that you can try to bank on. So we decided to continue the playoff push next week because, as John said, there's nothing like playoff baseball until we get to playoff hockey or playoff football or playoff basketball. But this is such an exciting time of the year, so we wanted to continue down that avenue. And again, we're offering players who are in the playoffs now. By the time they come out into IPO, their teams may have already been eliminated, and that's fine because, as we said, it's not beholden upon a game or a series of games. It's beholden on a player's career. So we're going to, on Monday of next week, we've got 2 LA Dodgers that'll be IPO'd. Chris Taylor, who's going to be a free agent, look for him. I'm hoping Mets get in on him. Great utility player next year. And Julio Urias, who won 20. He was the only 20-game winner in the National League this year. And a lot of people, it flew under a lot of people's radar how good this kid at 24, 25 years of age really is. He came back from injury. He looked great this year. He won 20 and only lost 3. So he's coming out Monday. We've got the Braves, Ozzie Albies coming out. I know he's hurting your Brewers right now, but talk about a great ball player. Another one who flies under the radar because he's on the same team with Ronald Acuna Jr. He's such an exciting second baseman. And twice he's had over 30 homers and 100 RBIs, and he scores 100 runs and hits 300. But other than that, he can't do anything on the ball field, right? They're just a really exciting ball player. We've got, on Friday, we've got Mr. Rafael Devers from the Boston Red Sox coming out. Yes. Another player coming next Friday, who I don't even know if you know this, John, because I don't know if it was announced yet. probably do. Kike Hernandez is coming out next Friday. Another great utility guy. Started with the Dodgers. Really, he's talk about playoff baseball heroes, right, John? Yeah, amazing.
Oh, he's become so beloved in Boston. He's fallen right in line. It's idiots part 2 this year.
Right. And for you, this will be especially exciting next Wednesday, Joey.
Yeah.
A guy by the name of Josh Hader will be IPO'd.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, I enjoy this, and old-time baseball fans will love this about Hader. Yes, he throws a classic four-seamer, probably 65% of the time. What I loved about him up until this season is that he was being utilized 2 innings at a time, and not just in the 9th inning. They were moving him all around the map, which I loved. I know that before the season he had a talk with Craig Counsell, and he really wanted to stick to 9th inning. And I know he's been getting the multi-inning outings have not been as frequent as they were.
Yeah.
But he's just that old school guy. He comes out there, throws smoke, takes control of that mound. And if I'm a Brewer fan, if Hader comes out there, I'm loving life, because that guy is just, when he's on, there's nobody more on. And he reminds me a lot of Goose Gossage.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Got that exciting fastball, comes out there, he's dominant. He's a great ball player. So he's coming out next week as well. We have a couple of great football players, Joe Burrow, and his superstar receiver, Jamar Chase, has already been IPO'd. And the T-Man is going to be IPO'd with him, his wide receiver, on Thursday as well. So we've got a really full slate next week. We've got 10 athletes being IPO'd next week, 2 every day, Monday through Friday, and some really exciting names. And I think there's some incredible value available next week. And then this is a 401 exclusive. The week after next is going to be GOAT week. Greatest of all time. There are going to be 6 amazing ball players. And the great thing about this is a thank you to our existing users and a preview for those who will join us in a couple of days, weeks, months. We picked 6 of the greatest players in sports right now, and they're going to be at a reduced price, and there's not going to be a lot of shares. So for our 401 users who are already here in the Utopian Baseball Society, I want you to know that you are literally getting this before anybody else. So you can plan and plot and get yourself ready for this. Not next week, but the week after. I can't tell you the days yet, but we will be IPOing a guy. What is he? The Turkish crazy man, or no? What is he? The Greek freak. Yeah, Giannis. Giannis will be IPO'd. Another basketball player who's very near and dear to my heart, goes by 2 initials, plays for a team out of Brooklyn. Superstar forward. You know who I'm going for?
KD.
Longhorn.
Yeah.
Call
it KD. Kevin Durant.
Oak Hill Academy. Yeah, Washington D.C. Yeah, familiar with him.
So 2 amazing quarterbacks. One plays for a team in the same town that George Brett used to play in. His dad
played
was
ball.
Relief pitcher for the New York Mets. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, Joe?
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes, he'll be out there. And when you say the word GOAT and you hear quarterback, don't say Brett Favre. Don't say Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay. When you say GOAT quarterback, you don't have to be a New England fan or a current Tampa Bay fan to think of this quarterback.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, yeah. Giselle's boy, that guy right there. So there are going to be very limited shares of Tom Brady. And then in baseball, 2 pretty incredible guys. One has the same nickname, as a guy who was responsible for one of the greatest Met moments of all time in 1986. He had a ball that went by some slow-legged, amazing hitting first baseman? I know, John, it didn't happen.
I have no memory. I don't know what you're talking about, really.
Yes. So a guy by the name of Mookie, not
Mr.
Wilson
Mookie Betts.
yet, will be IPO'd that week, and we've talked about him already today. I am blessed to be able to see him play in person now that I live in California for the past 28 years. I tell everybody this has been a tough year for me. Jacob deGrom, my favorite Met player since Tom Seaver. And this guy, my favorite Angel player since Nolan Ryan, Mike Trout.
Wow.
They both were hurt this year. So these are going to be very limited edition releases. They're not for the faint of heart price-wise. It'll be substantial because they have incredible value already. These are the type of players that this is a thank you, literally, to our current users. These are the type of players that if you were building your dream portfolio, you would want every one of these 6 in that portfolio, even if it's just one share.
Nice.
So no one else knows this. It's not going to even be released on the platform until early next week. This is a special for you guys. So please remember, next week you've got playoff baseball and some incredible ball players. And then the week after, you've got the greatest of all time. So if you're thinking about jumping on board as a user with us, if you're wondering how it works, if you thought when would be a good time, well, the good time is yesterday. The great time would be now. And the best time would be before our next IPO comes out, which is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Nice.
So definitely would love to see more of you guys coming on board and playing and enjoying and benefiting from your great baseball knowledge and your great sports knowledge. So.
Very exciting times. I can't wait till all of this happens with these, especially with these 6 big names that we dropped here. I just want to say before we end the show tonight that going forward, starting Tuesday, October 19th, 401 Sports will be on the Utopian Baseball Universe every Tuesday night at 7:30 Central, 5:30 on the West Coast, 8:30 on the East Coast. That's going to be every Tuesday, 401 Sports. So very, very exciting to have you guys here.
Thanks, Bud. And
it was great.
We love talking sports, so we're gonna next week we're gonna come at it a little bit differently. We know that there are still people kind of figuring out who we are and what we do, but we want to have some sports chat. So we would love to get some questions and hear what you guys think about what's happening in sports. Who would be some players that you really want to see IPO'd? Would love to see if there's someone that is on your favorite team, maybe isn't a superstar, but you think is going to be a superstar that you would think would be a great IPO. And maybe in the future, we'll be able to put a contest together. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
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 And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell everybody to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're out there. You get daily updates on who's coming next, and previews for all the IPOs and reminders for all the IPOs. So that information is always out there. It's always on the site as well, 401sports.com.
And I'll make sure to add those handles to the pinned announcement before we go off the air later tonight. So we'll add the Twitter, Instagram, and what was the third one, John?
Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
And the Facebook. Okay, great.
All right. Thanks so much, Joey.
Thank you, John and David. Really look forward to having you guys on every Tuesday, again, starting next week at 7:30 Central. We're going to give you guys all the latest that's going on with 401 Sports. Thanks again to David Rubin and John Hess from 401 Sports. Games 4 of the table tomorrow at 6 o'clock and 10:30 Central. We had a jam-packed day today. Everyone have a great night. And we'll see you tomorrow in the Utopian Baseball Universe. Have a good night.
Go Sox.
Go Brewers.
Go Sox.